Chats with Sweetie. Welcome to episode number 3 of Chats with Sweetie. That is my own personal tone.
I don't like that jingle. I just told you. It's on Instagram.
Everybody, welcome to the number 1 podcast of that Alejandro and I do. Wow.
That's where you're at today.
Sweetie, welcome to Chats with Sweetie. How are you?
I'm good, sweetie. How are you?
You know, I can complain. I can actually complain, but I only do that with you when I'm at home. So
lucky me.
Lucky you. Sweetie, how was your weekend?
Sweetie, what did we do this weekend?
That's why I like to ask you, because I like to reminisce about my weekend because I don't remember anything.
Well, you don't do any. I can tell you what you did.
What?
You went to Mazar.
Uh-huh.
And then you did other things.
I did other things, and then?
You smoked a lot of weed.
Okay.
And you watched football.
Yeah, it sounds like a pretty good weekend for me. How was yours?
My weekend was good. What did I do on Saturday, sweetie sweets? Oh, I did nothing exciting. I was in Orange County on Friday.
Yeah.
So I had to make up for everything I didn't do on Friday on Saturday. So I had to do some work, and I had to go to the grocery store, and I worked out and walked Fiona.
Man. And people think it's not so interesting when you go home and when you get home and you ask your partners, so how was your day? And they start telling you, well, I woke up at 6:30. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, sweetie. So today we have a jam-packed episode with a couple of themes that we want to discuss. Like number 1, how do you really feel about my friends dating your friends and your friends dating my friends?
Okay.
That's one. Then also we're going to talk about the best qualities of each other, because last time you were just too busy roasting me with what do you hate about me, because you didn't come up short with those.
I did not roast you. That's actually my dream to roast you. So
No.
we can arrange that.
And Sergio, we're going to edit this out in case someone asks and requests for this. This is not going to happen. Go ahead. What else? Oh, I'm the one saying.
You're the one who has the notes.
We're going to talk about our first date do's and don'ts.
First date do's and don'ts.
That's right. And when did you know I was the one?
My sweetie.
That's right. How would you tell others, like, yeah, you're right, this is the one? So
yeah.
we'll discuss that. So Let's start from the beginning. Sweetie, you have a lot of good-looking friends. I have some male friends which are interested in good-looking friends. And for the most part, when we have parties, we let the crazy just get together. We bring some aileron, some of our delicious mezcal.
Nice plug.
Perhaps some wine. Mm-hmm. And then things happen. How do you feel about my friends dating your friends? And then I'll tell you how I feel about your friends banging my friends, because it's not dating.
I agree.
Okay.
Fully agree with you.
So how do we feel about this? Number 1, do you think it's normal, healthy?
I totally think it's normal.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on the people, right? It depends on the personalities. It depends on the level of craziness.
But hang on, what do you care if they're your friends and they're crazy? And my friends are not crazy.
I don't really have that many crazy friends. I meant more so like, I guess more like drama.
Okay.
For me, I think it's great because that means your friend or my friend don't have to kind of go through the dating ring. Instead, they're just meeting someone actually like organically and not like on an app, which is, there's nothing wrong with that. But I just mean in that sense. I would say for me, it's great because ideally if it works out, then my friend is dating your friend and we can all hang out.
That's right.
So I personally don't think I've ever had a problem with it unless you think otherwise, but I've just always been like, whatever.
I think it's a terrible mistake. I think it's a fucking huge mistake. I'll say this up front, being the guy, right? With other guy friends that come into the nest.
But again, it depends on the friend.
It doesn't matter what the friend is. So. It doesn't really matter who the friend is. No, it doesn't fucking matter who the friend is. Number 1, all of your friends are really pretty and really high maintenance.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of them.
Well, I mean,
and I know, hang on.
It's a reflection of me in a sense.
Absolutely. And I know all of my friends, and I know that they're only there for the high maintenance on date 1, like the time they see them.
Yeah.
So when they're like, I like guys that are gentlemen, that open my door, that do this, that do that for me, that will take care of me. All of my friends will be willing to be like, I'll do that.
By the way, I just want to point out who you just sounded like.
Who?
Cakes and pies. Cakes and pies.
From Deuce
Bigelow. Yeah.
Thanks, babe. So my friends will promise, the sun, the
rainbows
stars,
and
the
butterflies,
moon, everything to your friends. And then they'll most likely have sex. And then we can have the two of them see each other for a while because let's say that they'll bang and then like one of your friends ended up going and getting married with someone. And
which has happened.
Which has happened. And it ended up being weird for a while putting those two friends together.
Yeah.
So situationally, I think this is a big problem.
Okay.
Then it also comes with the after effects, right? Because we do see how our friends date compared to, well, we mostly see people our age dating right now. And I just only think there's two possibilities that will come out of that. And you tell me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
One is it'll work out. Everything is great. They'll get married. And the other one, which is a 99.9999999%, they'll destroy that relationship simply because the woman is like, I need a gentleman. She's not willing to give up on the gentleman and the guy that I always dreamed of, the guy that will tell me that he'll do anything for me, the guy that is perfect in my dreams and that he's telling me that he is. And the guy is willing to do that until the guy goes, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I already banged and I'm walking away from this. And then he turns into an asshole. And then the friends are always like, why am I always dating an asshole? Well, because you're always finding the same guy that tells you that he'll do everything that you're asking him for just to get in your pants. And you're not realizing that that's going on right now, right? So for the most part, and also the guys, because don't get me wrong, even though the guys are like wanting to bang and all that stuff, they also, in their own mind, they're like, dude, I want to get in a relationship. I want to date.
Well, obviously, especially your friends.
Hang on, I'm 30-something. I'm ready to be in a committed relationship. And then you see them preying on the beautiful girl. And again, that beautiful girl just telling him all the stuff that she'll need. And then he's just like, I'll provide you with it. And then a week later, you got to hear from the guy like, oh, can you believe this girl? She won't stop texting me. Well, yeah, because you fucking told her that you would do anything for her. And now you're not. What do you think this is? This is terrible for everyone involved because I don't like to know when my friends are being called assholes by the other person. And I don't like seeing my friends fail over and over again. So my dating expectations from my friends is please don't tell me about your dating life because it's just the same mistake over and over again.
You're really passionate about this.
I am because this is a big hurdle in every relationship because if you guys go out and bring the friends of your wife or whoever and then the other friend and they bang it out, it's going to cause conflict of interest no matter what. Unless you guys see those two really being perfect for each other and being like, all right, that'll make sense. Like, and you got to be so good at picking, right? There's no way. I think it's a waste of time. I think it shouldn't happen. I think it's just a stain on everyone's life. I hate it.
Take a breath.
You don't think so?
Okay. So let me rephrase.
Because it's happened.
Let me rephrase.
Okay.
When you first asked me the question, my response was our circle. Obviously, you meant in general. So,
well, I mean, in our circle and in general, because it doesn't work in our circle and it doesn't work in general. But
here's the thing, and I don't care if you disagree with me.
I don't care either.
Good.
How about that?
Great. Is my friends and my girlfriends are not expecting the moon and the fucking rainbows and bullshit. 99%. You know what girls I'm talking about too.
Go on. They're not expecting the world, the anything. Okay.
Not from certain friends of yours.
Okay.
So let's keep it at that. But I will agree with you that, and on the other side, like in general, absolutely. Like it is a very sticky situation, and maybe 1 in 100s has worked out in a relationship where they're like, oh, how did you meet? And they're like, oh, I met through my friend's friend.
I don't think it's ever worked out with us. I don't know a single couple that we put together.
I'm not saying us.
Yo.
You're like,
yo.
Okay.
Yo, calm down. And I'm going to tell you this. Your friends, just like mine, are equally as bad. And I'm going to tell you why.
We're going to discuss this after this. Your
friends come over to the house and then they'll start talking about who they're dating on their other side. And it's the same story. It's like as if they were dating my friends.
But we're specifically talking about my friends dating your friends. That's this topic. Not so-and-so who dated so-and-so from fucking Texas or something.
I guess I'm sorry, everyone. I got to be really specific with my question.
Yeah.
It's an ever-evolving thing, sweetie, because the problem is your friends are expecting everything that I said. Maybe not from my friends, but they are in every single relationship that they try to get in.
Perhaps, right? But not from your friends.
No. And I understand.
And that's what I'm trying to get clear
because
here.
I try to warn everything. I'm a moron. I'm a huge moron. I'm an idiot. I don't know anything. I barely finished school. I don't know how I'm here. I barely learn English. I barely speak Spanish.
You're still learning.
I get it. I'm an idiot. But at least this idiot can talk to your friends about like, you want nothing to do with my friends because this is going to be awful. I don't want to have any restrictions when I go out with you, with her, with him.
Listen, I never encourage any of my friends to date your friends.
I understand.
Ever.
Yeah. And I understand everyone that I know that knows your friends do not date your friends because I know them too. And I'm like, oh, so what I'm saying is, sweetie, it's bad all around.
I agree with you, except what we were discussing specifically our group of friends.
I guess I'm not going to get you out of that one.
No.
So let me ask you then, what are my best qualities?
Oh, God. Can we go back to the worst? Can we go back to last week?
Mine are easy. So you start. I want to hear yours. Oh, my God. I want to hear your point of view first.
My sweetie.
Oh, wow. It's going to be bad.
No. Should we do like top 3?
You say whatever you want, sweetie. There's no restrictions. Unless you have top 3 qualities about me. No? Okay. You can just do one. Okay.
No. I would say you are extremely loyal.
Yeah.
You have.
It's unfortunate, but it's true.
You're very, very loyal. You have a humongous heart, which is like.
It's a condition. And actually, I'm going to go get it checked out next year.
Do you want me to stop? Because I can go back to the worst qualities real quick. Like
No. Please go on.
You're loyal. You have a really good heart. You are very empathetic.
I know. It's something I'm not very proud of.
You're truly one of the funniest people I've ever met. So
thank you, my sweetie.
That definitely is up there.
Thank you. So would you say that you were looking for those things when you found me, or you were like, wow, this guy has those things and I like that?
Yeah. For sure. And just somebody and I guess this is also a huge quality you have. You're very honest.
Oh my God.
Like, we'll get into like, that's a different topic, but like you were always very, like you just, I don't know, you were always honest. You never once played a game.
Yeah. I hate that.
And I think that's definitely a topic we'll talk about because that's like people dating in games and stuff, but like you never did that because you were always very honest and like forthcoming.
That's right, sweetie. That's right. Wow. Is there any way, Sergio, you can insert like crowd cheers or something at this point in the video? Thank you so much.
Maybe some fireworks.
God, fireworks on the video, just CGI like of me and a cake. I don't know, something. Because I normally don't get to hear this. Thank you, sweetie.
It's only every like 13 years, you know?
So all we got to do is open a brand new podcast and do it once. And then I won't hear about this again until there's like a new format of podcast that comes out.
You can just rewatch this episode though.
I will rewatch this episode every night from now on. Whenever I'm feeling down, you're going to see me downloading an episode of Chats with Sweetie, just listening to this part. I'm like, I am those things. I knew I was great. I don't care what anyone says about me on the comments. I'd say from you, the best qualities, I'll take the easy ones out immediately. You're really funny too. I'm surprised at how funny you are because I didn't think you were that funny on the first date, and we'll talk about that later.
Okay, fair enough.
I think you're really, really funny. You're extremely, extremely, extremely loyal, which I appreciate and I look for because, oh my God, life is just full of disappointments.
It's true.
It is. Everyone is like, and by the way, the guy who screams out like loyalty and I'm loyal, that's the guy or the woman that's the least amount of loyal in the world, right? So we never say that, but I appreciate that in you because you definitely have my back every single time. Well, you know what? I'm actually going to change this into a roast. The other one that I really like is how much you care about me because I've never had like a real family that cares for me. And you are the first family that I can say that I can count on and that it's always been there for me. So I'd say that's a big key for me and that was instant, by the way. I knew immediately after hanging out with you like a couple of times, I was like, damn it, I'm going to have to marry this girl.
I'm a caretaker in that
sense. There's no way out of this one. It is. You're very loving too. I love that. I love that you're very loving. I like that you like to take care of me, like I said. I love that you love animals like I do.
Yeah,
of course. That shows that's a good person. To me, in my eyes.
Yeah, of course. If you don't like dogs.
Yeah. And I like that you're smart and driven and you don't give a fuck. Like you're going to get shit done. That was a big quality that I really, really, really liked about you when I met you. Even though you didn't know what you wanted to do with your life. And, we had to go through some struggles.
It's called growth.
Yeah. And I understand. But at the time, whenever you said like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get this done and I'm going to go do that, you would get it done. I remember this one time. This is a great example. We were in our first office when we were doing Helios, when we were producing movies.
On Beverly.
Yeah. And we got our house. And you told me, you got to call and get the services on. You got to turn on the water, the power, the gas, and all that stuff. So I remember calling the LADWP or the gas company. I can't remember which one. And here's Alejandro. I am so fucking nice on the phone. I'm always really nice.
You're very polite. You're very polite.
I am polite and really, honestly, I'm genuinely nice because I want whoever's on the phone to have a good time and not think about like, oh my God, I'm so stressed. Like I just want to get something done. So I called the fucking power company or the gas company. I'm like, hey, how are you? Listen, I'm moving into a new house in 2 days and we need to get the power on or the gas on. And normally it's like a next day thing. And the woman goes, ooh, I'm so sorry. New policy in LA, it takes 2 weeks. And we had to move. We legitimately had to move. There was no way out. And I was like, listen, my girlfriend told me I'm in charge of this. Is there any way you can help me? Maybe there's a technician that's out there right now. I can hook him up. I can hook you up. You know what I mean? Like a little on the Mexican side of things. And the lady was like, oh, that's adorable, but no, you're going to have to wait 2 weeks. So I tried with all the best energy in the world. And I called you to give you the bad news. Mm-hmm. And I remember being terrified, being like, oh my God, I failed. This is
one job.
This is never going to go away. So I'm like, babe, I couldn't get the water or the gas on in the house. What? Why not? I'm like, because they said it takes 2 weeks. I already tried everything with the lady. I was super nice. I told her this. She's like, hang on a second.
Wow. My voice really changes a lot.
It's really different when you get mad. So you grab the phone and you call this woman and you just made her.
I got it done.
Go to the house and turn it on in not such a polite way like I did. And you got it done. And I was like, wow, that's what I need in my life. Because I'm the idiot that smiles all the time and everybody wants to take advantage of. But I got my pit bull right here.
I'm just assertive.
But I feel like I am too.
I think I just word things differently and like I can be like dominant in the situation and aggressive, but still be polite. Like I told you before, I'm an Aries. I'm like very.
I don't think that has anything to do with it.
I put on like my armor and I'm like, I'm going to get shit done. It's going to, there's always a way. Like I've always said that.
I'll say this. I just don't understand how anyone would react towards the feedback that you're giving them instead of the one that I'm giving them. Because I feel like if you're being nice to me, I'll do way more for you than if you're being an asshole. But
the thing is, I'm not being an asshole. I'm just being like assertive. And I'm just saying like, whatever I said to the woman obviously worked. It's not like I threatened her.
No. No one's saying that you went out there and you fucking told her that you were going to kill her family, or maybe you did. I don't know. But that woman was like, all right, we're turning on the gas immediately. Or the power. No problem. And to me, the guy, hey, come on, let's do it. Come on. I'm moving in. I don't know.
I was persuasive with the situation, but I'm assertive.
I really like that about you.
Thanks.
Because I know that's one of my biggest weaknesses every time. And I tell you now, like, can you please call these guys and get it done? Because why am I going to waste my time being nice on the phone?
Don't you remember when we would go to dinner and you'd be like, can you make the reservation? Can you make sure we get the table?
Oh, dude, because I would show up to restaurants and this still happens to me every time. And people, and you know this, I'm not a victim.
No.
I'm not a victim at all. For the amount of shit that I take, I just think it's hilarious too, the way it happens. Like, I'll go to Nobu, for example, in Malibu, right?
Well, that's like the worst, but yeah.
But you can say that. You'll be like, oh, you know what? Today I'm gonna go with my friends to Novo Malibu, and somehow you girls get a fucking table and you're outside and it's dope and beautiful outside. Like you just decided that day. It'll be me and Hookah, for example. Hookah came from Mexico that one day. I was like, dude, you want to go to Nobu? Let's go have some sushi. No problem. It's two of us. We show up. It's like 3:30. There's no one there. No one. It's fucking empty. And I open the door and I tell the lady, hi, how are you? She's like, good. I'm like, oh, this is going to go bad. And I go, it's two of us. Do you have a table for two? And she looks back at an empty restaurant, like a fully empty, there's not one fucking table. And she goes, we're so busy right now. Is there any way you can wait?
It's going to be about a 3 or 4 hour wait.
Are you able to wait at the bar? It's going to be like 3 or 4 hours before I can give you a table. And you know what I do? I thank you so much. And I just walked the fuck away and I went to Soho, right? But that's me. I always get put in the fuck you basket by everyone. I don't understand why. I got to figure something out because this is a problem that I've had from day one. Wouldn't you agree?
From day one.
And I don't know why. And also, by the way, I can be a tremendous dick.
Yeah.
Right?
Man.
So when I'm working, when I'm like when I used to make movies or when we were doing contracting, I get everybody to do whatever the fuck I'm telling them because otherwise they're done.
Yeah.
But in any other sense outside of my work, I can't get people to fucking give me a break.
Yeah.
Do you know why? Why do you think that is, sweetie? Since let's analyze me right now. I actually want to know what's wrong with me.
I mean, I don't have an answer, but sometimes maybe because maybe you come off like you're so nice, like you can be a pushover. Where I'm kind of like a bitch and they don't want to deal with me. I don't know. But I'm going to tell you this. Nobu sounds great right now. Like so good. On a side note.
Oh my God.
But I think I think you're like so happy and cherry and maybe especially like in LA and New York, like all those people in those industries are just like so bitchy and just like the worst. So you need to give it back to them.
Oh, baby. I just get it everywhere.
And that's why I do that.
It doesn't matter where it is. I get it nonstop.
The good news is you're with me all the time. So just stick with me and you'll be fine.
Thank God for quarantine. Thank God for my wife. Thank God for marriage and the contract that we signed together for the rest of your life.
I need to look at that contract.
Until I die.
I need to look.
There's no way
Or
out.
until I put you in a home, which will happen sooner than you think.
No.
Every time we drive by one, I'm like, do you like that one?
Wow. I guess everybody now knows about me being put in a home very soon. Well, that was refreshing. Thank you for the nice qualities about me and then the little
welcome.
exposure of my problems. Mm-hmm. I appreciate that. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Well, since we're done talking about good things about each other, we can go back to do's and don'ts about first dating, like first dates. And I guess you want to give some tips to people about what to do and what not to do. But I think the greatest way to start this is to tell your point of view on our first date, your side of the story, what you saw, what you encountered, and then I'll tell you mine, and then we can give away some tips. What do you think?
Okay.
So start. What was our first date like?
Well, we talked about this in the first episode. Our first date was a double date, so I don't think that was like super fair. But like when you and I went out.
Where'd we go? I remember my first date with you was my double date. That's the only one I remember.
Yeah, we went to Fogo de Chao.
Incredible.
I want to say our second date, I feel like we had sushi. And then we went to S Bar. It doesn't matter where we went. But I remember that I absolutely, this is a huge don't. I overshared. That still haunts me till today from you.
Oh.
Like I was an open book. So I like told you everything and people like dated and all this stuff. And it was like a humongous don't.
Yeah, I'd say it's not so much fun to hear about.
I didn't think I was going to end up when you'd marry you. I don't know. You know, so I was just like telling you everything about all of my adventures.
All of your little adventures, huh? What if I just came out and started telling you about my pathetic sexual adventures?
That's on you.
That's all you remember from the first date?
We were getting to know each other. It was like, listen, first dates are like interviews in a sense, right? Because you're like asking each other so many questions because you're trying to absorb everything about that person and you're learning all these things and you're just like asking everything under the sun.
I guess you were more curious about it. To me, we just went to Fogo de Chao. We had a nice little chat that led me to believe that you absolutely hated me and somehow we're still together. That's That in my experience was our first date.
Okay.
Now, what are the do's and don'ts? Well, don't overshare.
Don't overshare.
Do not go in there and tell the guy, oh my God, this guy used to rail me like this. And then we used to go here to eat. And then you're like, I never want to go there to eat ever again. Because, it'll bring her memories of Johnny just, but like fucking just giving her the clap, and you're like, what? Why do I need to know this? So number one, don't
overshare.
Do not overshare. And by overshare, we only mean about the bangies, right? And the weird things.
First of all, people are going to think the incorrect things by you saying all this.
Then why are you telling me these things on my first date?
I didn't tell you these things. I didn't tell.
Even Sergio can't believe what he's listening to.
I did not.
He's virgin ears.
You're sure. I did not overshare that information. I just meant like you don't need to get into every single like detail. Like people don't need to know certain things. Also, and this is not you and I that this happened. I mean, like leave a little bit
of mystery
in the sense that get to know the person even more. I feel like we just told. I know because we just.
I didn't tell you anything. You still don't know anything about me.
You still don't know anything about yourself. So,
what do you mean? I'm an open book. I'm like the yellow pages. So filled with dumb information.
Let me ask you. Okay, so for do's and don'ts, what do you think about like sleeping with the person on the first date? Do or don't?
I don't care. I think it depends on the person. I agree. I think everything is tailored to the person that you're sitting in front or across.
Yeah.
And you got to know, like, what are the bases? I think the most important thing, and this is something like, for example, with you, I was so lucky that I already knew what I was missing in my life.
Okay.
My ex was such a fucking mess that I learned instantly, I definitely don't want that. I don't want that. I for sure don't want that. And I never want that. So by not wanting that, I wanted completely the opposite.
Yeah.
So when I saw you and I met you and we started hanging out, I was like, oh my God, she's absolutely the opposite of that. This is incredible. This is what I need. And like I told you, one of the things that I really like about you the most is how you're a caretaker.
Yeah.
Can you say that without like being a home caretaker of me?
Yeah, I'm nurturing.
Like I don't live in a
I'm like very nurturing person.
Like that.
It's like
and also, by the way, we started dating. She went into my bathroom once. I came back and she had changed everything in my bathroom to really nice things. And I was like, man, this is great. I've never in my life had this ever. Someone that really cares about me, that laughs at my stupid jokes,
or Adam.
Or, well, at me the whole time, and someone that knows how to improve my life. Like, I never had that. So knowing what I was missing and what I wanted, I was like, this should work. This should be perfect, unless she's absolutely fucking crazy in one way that I can't see. And somehow you turn out not to be that crazy.
I know. We talk about
Which, by the way, it's crazy for everyone listening right now or watching.
Yeah.
Belen's not that crazy.
I'm really not. I'm really not.
I know. That's why. So I think for me, if you're going into do's and don'ts, it all depends on knowing you and what you want as a person, as a being. Like, what are you looking for in this world? And this is why it's so weird to me when people go out on dates and they're like, I want a guy that's like Prince Charming. He'll open the door for me. He'll pay for all of my meals, and he'll look great. Nah, bitch, you just want someone that will fuck you, because that's what that's what my homeboys are looking for. They're all dressed up nicely. They'll put perfume on that day. They'll shower that day. They'll promise you A to Z of the general shit, not even about your own personal stuff. The general shit. They'll promise you all of those, and you'll be like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, ready for it. Like, that makes no sense whatsoever. Anyone can get that. Anyone can get a polite asshole that opens the car door for you. If you want a credit card, you can also get a credit card. That's not the person you're looking for. So to me, it was so easy to spot this makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Because he was legitimately just all the things I wanted. The thing about you're saying about not playing games, that's why women hate me.
Yeah.
because I don't play games. It's just me. What you see, sadly, is what you get. And that to me is also very important. And with you, it was also the same. I'm not getting into this to play a fucking game. I'm not chasing. I'm not going up and down the stairs promising something that I'm not. This is me. Are you cool with it? Cool. Let's go. Yeah. Other than that, like, man, immediately you can tell. Like, I have friends that are like, oh man, I'm dating right now and I forgot what he was like. Lots of games.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the wrong place, homie.
Yeah.
Right? How do you look at that?
The games?
Yeah, well, all of that is part of the first date, and like, what are the do's and don'ts?
Like
what made you realize, like,
for me with you, I remember from the get-go, like from the beginning, if you told me you were calling me at 10 a.m., like you would call me at 9:55, like, and I just remember it was so easy. Like I remember having conversations like with Jamie, and I was like, he called me when he told me he was going to call me. Like, it's so weird. I wonder what's wrong with him. Like it was almost strange that you were doing everything that I wasn't used to in a sense. Yeah. Like he's going to flake. He's not going to show up. Like he's whatever. So you always did that. And like, I even remember one of our first dates, because as we mentioned in the first episode, we lived in the same neighborhood, well, same apartment complex. Yeah. And I remember we were going to dinner and I got in the elevator, and when the elevator doors opened, you were waiting for me with your, the BMW, the two-door one, the one that was like that toothpaste color, the 6 Series.
Yeah.
And I remember you were standing outside of the car waiting for me, and you did open my door. And I was like, I've never had this.
I still open the door for you.
You still open the door for me. No. But it was such a moment where I was like, he's on time. He called me. He's taking me to dinner, and he's actually waiting for me, like legit a gentleman. Like that's just, it is not an American thing, at least when I was dating people. And I just remember being like, wow, like this is him. This is just who he is.
But then it's like, this guy's crazy. These fucking Mexicans make no sense.
It was totally the opposite. I was like, that is what like I longed, but I was wanting, like, just like to feel respected and treated like nicely. And it was just always easy with you. Like there just wasn't any ever guessing. Like I said, like it was always like, do you want to go to a movie? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? And there was no like, hey, I can't do that. Or, I'm going with the boys. Like it was, you just wanted to be around me genuinely. Yeah. And again, you were just loyal. Yeah. And you were my friend. Like that's how it started.
I think I still am.
You are, but like
Would you say that? Or
but that's how, like, that's genuinely like you were just really interested in wanting the best for me, even from the beginning. Like you asked questions and you were interested, and that was a huge thing. And for me, I never had a serious boyfriend before you. I was like a serial dater. Like I just didn't want to be in anything that was serious. Cause I remember being in high school and I remember all my friends had boyfriends, and I was like, why are they like, you're so young. Like, why do you have a boyfriend? Yeah. And then some of my friends would continue with that person into college. And I was like, that is just like so suffocating. Cause by the way, none of them worked out. And it's like, shocker. And I remember thinking, I'm not like going to have a boyfriend until like that he's the one, and that will be the person I end up with. And I dated and traveled and did all these things. And then I remember when I met you, I was like, I remember having a conversation. I was like, this is my person, because you actually made me stop like in my tracks. Like I wasn't wanting to escape and travel. Of course I still wanted to travel, but I didn't want to like, it's not like I was running away, but I constantly was like needing a distraction. And then I met you, and it was all like, it was balancing me out to like stand still for a second. And you have qualities, and I'm sure I've said this to you before, but they say you always long or want someone that either resembles your father or your mother, the qualities. And you have a lot of qualities that my dad has.
Oh boy.
And my dad's my favorite person. Yeah. So I remember when I met you, you had so many similar qualities, and I was like, this is my person.
You're like, oh my God, they both speak Spanish.
That was exactly it.
That's it. That's all it takes.
But you were very warm and you were a protector. And I've always, like, as I said before, I'm really fortunate to have such great parents, especially my dad, who is a provider and always made sure I was okay. And you were like that too. And I remember you were like that with my friends. And I remember that stuck out so much to me. Like you took care of my friends the way you were taking care of me. Like you weren't like a dick. You weren't like, like you made sure like if we were going to dinner that, they had a chair or you would open their door. Like you were just very kind.
Yeah. I appreciate that, sweetie.
It's the truth.
I appreciate that. And by the way, that doesn't sound, it sounds pretty easy, no? Because we were both like, I know what I don't want. I know kind of what I want. And then you see it in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah. That sounds about right. That's why to me it's so hard when I see all of our friends just dating and going in the same circle. It's not that hard.
And by the way, a huge reason why I didn't ever date anyone serious, because I was learning from my friends. I was like, I'm not dating someone like this. Like, I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just, not that I thought I was above anyone or I thought I was better than anyone. I had standards and I had goals, not only for myself, but like the person, my partner to be. And anyone can have a boyfriend or a girlfriend.
Yeah.
I just did not want to settle.
Yeah.
And I guess now when I look back, I was like, gosh, I was like kind of so ahead of myself because at 23, 24, I can't believe I actually was already so aware of that.
And good for you. You ended up with the greatest prize.
You did.
On all the contest.
Lucky me.
So let me ask you, when did you know I was the one that you were going to marry? And sadly, I'll tell you mine.
Why didn't you go first? Because I just went first.
No, I ask you first. I'm the one asking the question, sweetie. You got to answer, sweetie.
Sweetie, sweet.
We do this all the time, by the way. When we're at home, we just scream sweet at each other and sing the songs.
It's true. With screaming Nunu in the middle of
That's
it.
right. When was that moment when you were like, my God, he is the most amazing man I've ever met? Which is obviously true.
I'm still waiting for that moment.
Damn it.
I think for me, I knew because I wanted to be around you all the time. Like, we did not have one night away for like the first 2 years of our relationship.
Yeah.
Or was it 1 year?
At least 1 year.
I think it was a full year because then I remember you had to go back to Mexico for a couple months. But I remember we went like a full 12 or 14 months that we spent every single night together. And I just remember thinking, I always wanted to be around you because you made me laugh and you made me so happy. And that's like when I knew like, I want to be with this person forever because for me, from my past, I had an attention span of like a fly. So I was like, on to the next, on to the next.
Oh.
And with you, I just always wanted to be around you.
Well, it only took you a year. Well, this is going to be embarrassing for me.
No. I'm saying, I'm giving that as an example that we went a whole year without spending one night away from each other. And when I was like, well, I want to marry this person, I would say it was a couple months into dating because for me, and I'm not talking about us, I went from never being in a serious relationship to like, from 0 to 100. Like we moved in together after like 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And it was just like, this is my person because you made me feel, you brought me so much laughter. You made me feel safe. And like you still are, you're so in love and obsessed with me.
Oh.
And I never had that. Like you like the way you love me was and still is like no one has ever shown that to me. Obviously, aside from my parents, but like I never wanted that feeling to go away.
Oh, my sweetie, that's really sweet. Mine's really pathetic.
Oh God,
mine's really fucking pathetic. After you tell me that, so like 6 weeks, seven weeks into dating, we went out on a dinner to a sushi place, and I remember this. It was a fucking Nobu on La Cienega. And shut up, babe. Please don't say anything. And I remember just sitting in front of you and I'm staring at you And I just got overwhelmed with emotion. I was just, and this never happens to me, by the way. Never. Well, now I'm an old man. Now I cry for everything. And I'm just staring at you and I just start crying. I'm like, you just don't understand how much I love you. And it was like, we had just been dating. And Belen's like, okay. And I was just like full blown crying in this fucking restaurant. They're bringing us food and the guy doesn't know if it's bad or if she's breaking up with me. She's like, ugh. I was like, I just love you so much. I don't understand why. You're like, okay, this. And I for sure thought, we're going to walk out of here and she's never going to call me again. This is what's going to happen. And here you still are.
Here we are.
And I knew it then because of everything I told you. And it was like all of those things hit me at the same time while you were sitting in that table. And I just felt like I really needed to cry in front of a perfectly stranger waiter that I've never seen before in my life.
Or someone you just met.
That's right. Or in front of all the other strangers that were sharing a meal there. And I for sure put him in a great mood. You don't think?
Yeah. I remember you were like, I want to marry you. And I was like, what's your last name?
Yeah. It was really impressive. And by the way, I always said, were you at the mindset of like, I want to get married?
No, I thought I was like going to live in the fast lane in New York. I thought I was going to be Samantha from Sex and the City. Like I was like,
Samantha's a whore?
She's the one who like never wanted to get married or have kids.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm never going to get married and I'm never going to have kids.
Wow.
And it's not like I thought I was never going to get married. I just thought like it would be like in my super late 30s and like maybe I'd get married. Maybe like in like closer to 40.
Mm-hmm.
But it was never like I never wanted the dream. I never wanted the white picket fence with the kids and all that. I wanted the dogs. I wanted a ranch and hopefully find a life partner.
Yeah. That's interesting. See, to me, oh boy, it was completely the opposite. I was like, I'm never getting married. All of my previous experiences, I had 2 girlfriends before you. Just 2. That was enough to scar me for life. And I was like, I'm never going to get married.
Well, I had
never.
0, so.
I was like, never, ever going to get married. The first one, the first girlfriend just would like, I would go out with her and we were perfectly fine. And she would just make up all these stories about me to all of my friends. That was one of the most bizarre things I've ever had in my life happen to me. And I remember thinking, how can you spot?
Crazy?
Yeah, because you can spot crazy like our friends that date like hot girls, right? You sit down with them and you talk to them for a second. You're like, oh, I get it. She must fuck amazingly because she's absolutely out of her fucking mind and she will burn the house down. Like, that's it. And in this one, like, the girl was just like a normal looking girl, like nothing crazy. And she was absolutely bananas. And that one was one that I never figure out. Like, how can you ever get away from something like that? And then the second one, the one that I had before you that I broke up with, I was so excited that I broke up with her that I went and bought a car. Like I've never in my life been like I've never in my life, like if I broke up with you, I wouldn't go buy a car. I'd be like, fuck, this is the saddest day of my life where I would just, You
probably would check into a home.
Yeah, most likely. Most likely. Let's be real. Yeah. Into Sergio's home so he can take care of me.
Oh, boy. Sergio puts it in his 30-day notice.
Yeah, no shit. But it's true. With the second one, I mean, man, that was so bad all around. Like I just saw every single little thing that was negative happen in front of me. And I was like, oh, I don't want that. But I remember when I broke up with her, I was like, I'm never, ever gonna date again, have a girlfriend, nothing of
Which, by the way, is hilarious that you made that statement and you were 23.
I was scarred.
I'm just saying, you're so young.
No, I don't think you understand what I went through. And then before that, all of my personal relationships have always failed me, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm a loyal dog. I'm there for you, whatever. And then people turn around, take that for granted, and then they go, ha, fuck you, Alejandro. So I was always like, why am I going to get married to anyone in this world when no one seems to value like any of the stuff that I am?
Yeah.
And then I met you and it was like, bam, fuck you. I'm getting married. I'm crying in front of a waiter at Nobu here in La Cienega. So there's that. There's the new Alejandro, apparently. God.
Peeled a whole new layer off of you.
Oh my God. That was really, 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 really embarrassing. But I think those are all of our subjects right now, sweetie. We're at about 40 minutes in. Is there anything you'd like to add to this podcast? Anything you'd like to talk about?
Well, since we're on this topic.
Oh boy.
Should we say who said I love you first?
Oh.
Should we say our stories, our versions of it?
Go ahead, sweetie.
No, you go ahead, because I brought up the question.
No. Oh, my God. That's a well-played thing. I remember we were at a S-Bar, I think, with you. No? That's not when I told you I loved you? I did, and you just walked away.
At S-Bar? Oh, yeah. I said, yeah, okay.
Go, you were like,
go
thanks.
Ahead. Yeah, he said I love you, and I said thank you.
You should have seen Sergio's face right now. That explains everything. And by the way, as a Mexican guy, you love everyone, right? Sergio can attest to that. I'm like, dude, I fucking love you. I love you. I love you. So that's a not such a big deal word.
You meant it.
But in the U.S., people go crazy with it. So I'm very aware of this thing. But once I'm drunk, I'm dancing. There's, like going on, and I'm like flowing with it. But then I can remember what we were saying. I laughed, and as you were going to go back to the bar, I go, all right, thank you. I love you. And you were like, thanks. And just walked away to the bar with your friends. I was pretty freaked out by the
situation.
I was like, oh, boy.
Yeah. But I said it back like a month later.
Oh, in Cabo.
Yes. Oh. I was like, I love you too.
You were like, and by the way, at night, in the middle of the night.
It's true.
Like, listen, I want to go to sleep. And she's like, by the way, I'm like, yeah. I love you too. I'm like, listen.
It was a big deal for me. I'd never said that to anyone before.
I'm like, cool. It's been a month. It's been a fucking month since S-Bar. So maybe I'll tell you I love you tomorrow. And then in 2 more months, we'll schedule a trip so you can tell me again.
I'm screaming. Listen, I had never had a boyfriend before, so I'd never disclosed that before to anyone. So it was a big deal. And you said it so nonchalant at S-Bar. So it threw me off. And then when we were in Cabo, I, thought that was the right moment to tell you that I loved you too. Even though yours was clearly casual, like you just said.
Mine was way better. Mine was out of a moment that created, it was not in the middle of the night. I literally was
like, thank you.
I didn't turn around in the middle of the night and go like, by the way, do you have some water? No? Okay. Also, by the way, I love you. Like, it didn't happen like that. It happened in the moment when he was feeling it and he was right there in front of you.
I'm screaming inside.
So if you guys, this is my recommendation to you. If you love the woman that you're sitting across or you're staring at, just don't tell her anything. Just don't say your feelings.
That's not true.
Don't say your feelings. Just wait until she goes into a trip and then it's the middle of the night and then she'll turn around and go like, oh.
In my defense, this was all foreign territory for me. I'd never been in a serious relationship. I didn't know the fucking rules and I was freaked out.
There are no rules. It's the human rule.
Well, I'm just saying, if it's your first relationship, it's okay. If it takes you a little bit longer.
Well, I completely disagree. Thank you very much for listening to Chats with Sweetie. One more.
But I do have a question for you.
Hit me.
Did you take my advice from last week about Christmas shopping?
Of course.
You haven't bought my gift, have you?
Thank you everyone for listening to the third episode of Chats with Sweetie. Today was a great day. I had my sweetie here with me, Belen.
It's going to be a hard no.
Thank you very much for everything behind the keyboards. And to everybody that's listening and watching us, remember we're on Spotify, Google Cast, iTunes.
Hopefully you'll be alive next week,
on Facebook. And if you guys don't see me next week, you know why. All right, guys. This was Chats with Sweetie. Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you.
All right. Love you.
Love you too.
Maybe I'll wait a month.
Sweetie.
Hang on. We'll see you in Cabo for the answer.
Oh, I'm fine with that.